Yo, what is going on, guys? It's C-Brev. Welcome to another MLB The Show 19 video. In this one, I'm going to be walking you through all the rewards for the 10th inning program and which cards, in my opinion, you should be taking at these reward points. I'll be going over the pros and cons of each card and kind of giving you guys my experience with all of them since I've tried all of them out. So let me know what you think down in the comments and who you took in this program, and let me know if this advice helps you guys. I'm going to try to keep doing this for every program that comes out. Granted, I think the 11th inning one will be the last one, but we'll see. So starting it off with the 100-star rewards, kind of just a bunch of throwaway signature series cards. They do help a lot with the Honus Wagner collection, which is kind of a big deal, so that's pretty cool. First option, Freddie Freeman. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't really see a reason to ever use this card unless you're maybe a Braves fan or making a Braves team or something. First base is so flooded right now with so many good options, and this card's attributes are kind of just underwhelming to say the least. So really, probably not much use out of Freddie Freeman for you guys. Next card is Sean Green, review coming out soon on my channel. This card actually surprised me a lot. Pretty average. He's like average at all 5 tools, which is okay, I guess. But really, outfield is another position that's super flooded, especially with Ichiro being out and free right now. You really only need 2 outfielders, and I just don't see this card making many people's teams. And then finally, AJ Burnett, pretty good budget starting pitcher, not the worst card ever. When I reviewed him on my channel, I kind of called him a little bit worse version of Roy Oswalt, which is, I think, the best way to describe this card, but kind of a decent option. There are definitely worse starting pitchers out there. So if you had to ask me, out of all 3 of these cards, who is most likely to make people's lineups and squads, I would say AJ Burnett. He's a great option to kind of fill out depth at starting pitching for cheap, but honestly, all 3 of these cards are selling for quick sell value right now. So if you pick up any of them, they're kind of basically free. So it's up to you guys. I personally think the best card in the reward set is AJ Burnett. Moving along to the 200-star rewards, these are all pretty good. They're all 99s and some of the best budget cards in the game right now because they're all selling for around 15,000 stubs, which is a pretty good steal. Starting off with Barry Larkin. By the way, you can see I don't have stats for these cards. It's only because I'm on a different account than the one I tried them on. So someone has commented that before, saying, how can you tell how good the cards are if you don't have stats? That's the reason why. Anyway, I was very impressed with this Barry Larkin card. He did everything pretty well. I kind of described him as a Roberto Alomar that can only hit right-handed, which is a pretty good compliment because Alomar is a beast. The thing I was most impressed by with this card was his fielding. He made pretty insane fielding plays for me. So overall, very good choice at shortstop. Moving on to Christy Mathewson. He was kind of on the other end of the spectrum. I personally think this card is terrible. This card got blown up for me every time I used him. Would not recommend at all. However, starting pitching is pretty expensive on this game, and if you really need cheap starting pitching depth, this isn't the worst option in the world because he is a 99 overall and he's only about 15,000 stubs. So if you're on a severe budget, you can maybe go with this guy, but if you're not on a budget, I would not touch this guy with a 10-foot pole. And then finally, Dale Murphy, pretty insane card for what he is. This card played out of his mind for me, including defensively, which surprised me in center field because I thought the 74 speed would make him kind of slow, but he covered a ton of ground out there in center field, played amazing defensively, and hit pretty okay. A card with attributes like that this late in the year isn't going to hit the greatest, but he did good enough. This card is basically just like a budget Andre Dawson is the best way I can describe him. So honestly, if you're looking for the best card out of the set, it's got to be Barry Larkin or Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy maybe has the biggest potential because you have 3 outfield slots, well 2 if you get Ichiro. But overall, I would honestly just pick up Larkin and Murphy because they're both definitely worth it for their price. I think they're amazing cards. Finally, getting to the juicy rewards, the 300-star pack. The guys everyone wants to know about. Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, Mike Schmidt. Who should you be taking out of this pack? I'll be honest with you guys, when I first saw the cards when they were released, I thought the choice here was Albert Pujols, and then it was a no-brainer. Mike Trout's vision really scared me a lot, and I wasn't sure how he would play defensively. I can say that Mike Trout's vision is not an issue, especially if you play on Hall of Fame or lower, and he is 100% worth it. This card is a monster at the plate. Just insane exit velocities. Your PCI doesn't even have to be on the ball most of the time. Just performed out of my mind with this card. Defensively, he played really good as well. Just overall, a 5-tool player, insanely good card. The vision is going to hurt you with PCI size, but like I said, I think you're okay if you play on Hall of Fame or lower, and half the time PCI placement doesn't even matter with this guy. So this card was a freak, as was Albert Pujols. I played Albert Pujols at third base. He played really well at third base, like not amazing, but he didn't mess up that much. He made all the routine plays, and his hitting stats are obviously insane. Even if you're looking at first base for this card, definitely better than Frank Thomas in my opinion, because his fielding stat is way higher and he's a little faster. Pujols has an amazing swing, and he gets auto shifted on, which is actually a positive for him because he's more than capable of taking the outside pitch and going the other way with it. So Albert Pujols is a freak as well. Also is a freak is Mike Schmidt, another card that's kind of a victim of vision being low. So maybe on Legend you don't want to deal with this card, but this card is honestly insanely good also. The fielding is just really good, and the power is there. Maybe not as many home runs as I was hoping for with this card, but tons of doubles. I mean, just ripping balls in the gap all day. So I think Mike Schmidt might be the biggest victim of circumstance out of any of the program rewards so far this year, because he's an amazing card that nobody is going to pick. And I'm right there with him too. I think Mike Schmidt, this card is really good. The problem is that third base is stacked, and there's probably a better third baseman and first baseman in the same program rewards as Mike Schmidt in Albert Pujols. So if you had to ask me, the choice has to be between Trout and Pujols. Obviously all three are amazing cards. I personally think Pujols is still the best choice because of his potential of both hitting and fielding in the infield for you. However, I will say as a disclaimer, disclaimer number one, if you play on Hall of Fame or lower, Mike Trout is going to be a beast for you, and you should give him a shot. And if you do not have Willie Mays, then I think you should definitely be taking Mike Trout over Albert Pujols in this pack, just to kind of fill the 5-tool slot for your center fielder. So that's my advice for you guys. One last thing I want to talk about before I end the video. We're not really sure how the 11th program rewards are going to work, if they're going to give re-releases of all the previous inning program bosses. So if they do that, these cards will go down in price, but if they don't do that, these cards are at the lowest price that they'll probably ever be at right now. So if they re-release them, it's kind of going to suck that I'm giving you guys this advice. You might lose 20K maybe on each card, and if they do that, you can probably sell them right away. Anyway, my advice would be, if you want to try any of these guys, I would pick them up within the next 5 days before the 11th inning program releases, because I think they have a chance to go up in price, especially if previous inning bosses are not released. So that's my advice. Gotta be Trout or Pujols. I'm going with Pujols, but Trout is amazing as well. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.